Again, welcome to Java Programming Language, CS102. This lectures cover how to use the Java predefined classes. And here we're going to focus on 3 predefined classes: how to format and output, enum types, and also the wrapper classes. So again, we can create more interesting programs using predefined classes. So we start with the formatting output. Java gives us 2 classes we call the number format class and also the decimal format class. These 2 classes can be used again to format values as currency or percentage or as a decimal value. So the number format class allows us to format values as a currency or percentage. Also, the decimal format class allows us to format values based on pattern. That's the number of decimal places. Now, in order to use these classes, we need to import a package named java.test. And also the number format class has a static method that returns a formatter object. And it's get currency instance or get percent instance. Now, let's see an example with a program called the purchase.java. So in this example program, we are going to demonstrate the use of number format class to format output. So again, since we are going to get an input from a user, we need a scanner class. So we import the utility package and the standard scanner class. And now since we are going to use the number format, we import the package java.test. So again, this program name will be purchase.java. So the main class is purchase. We have our main method, public start void main string argument. Here we declare our first variable name tax rate. And again, it's final. So again, this is a constant. And we initialize it to 0.066%. We have another variable name quantity, subtotal task, total cost, and unit price. So the variable quantity, we are going to ask the user to give us the quantity of the items. And then the variable for subtotal, we are going to find the subtotal before the task. Then when we find the total cost, we already know the task rate given to us to be 0.06 here. So to find the task, it will be 0.06 times, again, the unit price. So let's go through. So first we create our scanner object, name scan, and we are going to use it to get an input from the user. Before that, we create our number format object. We name it FMT1 and also FMT2. So FMT1, we can see that we declare the object same way as we declare creating an object using the class. So the class name is number format. Then we have the object name FMT1. Again, the name can be any name you choose. Then we have equal to number format dot get currency instance. So again, FMT1 is for formatting the currency. But we also have FMT2. We can see that FMT2, the method is get percent instance. So we are going to use the object FMT2 to format percentage, then FMT1 to format currency. But we can see that the syntax is the same as creating an object with a class. So the class name is number format. The object name is FMT1. Then we have number format dot get currency instance and also percent instance. So now we ask the user to enter the quantity. And the user entered the quantity using the scanner object name scan dot next int. So the quantity will be an integer as we declare the variable also as integer. Next, we ask the user to enter the unit price. And the unit price again is double. So we use the next double method and we get the, so now we know the quantity and also we know the unit price. So we can find the subtotal. Subtotal will be the quantity times the unit price. Now we know the tax rate, which is 0.06. So we multiply the subtotal times the tax rate. So that gives us the tax amount, TAX. So if we know the task amount, then we can find the total cost. So total cost equal to the subtotal plus the task. Now, what we are learning here now is the next step. We want to format our output. For example, the task rate, we want to format, it was given to us as 0.06. We want to format it to percent. So this means I'm going to use the object FMT2. Then the total cost should be in currency. So I'm going to use the object FMT1. So we can see in our printout statement, system.out.println, the subtotal, we have FMT1 dot, we have to use the format method, and the argument to be the variable that you want to format. So we know the subtotal is the price. FMT1 is the get currency instance for currency format. So we have FMT1 dot format subtotal. Then the same thing applied to the task. The task now is percentage. So we can use the FMT2 dot format the task rate. Now, first we use FMT1 dot format task. Why? Because the task amount is also currency. The task amount is currency. So we use FMT1 dot format. Now, the whole goal, what we are learning is these two examples, how we can use the number format and their statistic method, get currency instance or get percent instance. So we create the object first, FMT1, FMT2. Then anytime we want to print any data, we can just call the format method. First, we need to have the object dot format, then whatever variable we are formatting or the content. So let's see the output. In this case, the user entered the quantity to be 5. Then the unit price is 3.87. So when we multiply 3 times 3.87, it will give us 19.35. But you can see our first output was that we want to have the task. So the task was formatting to us in currency $1.16. Then we can see also the rate, the task rate is supposed to be 0.0, but because we use the FMT2, it was format for us to be 6%. Same thing applied to the total. The currency is supposed to be decimal value, but because we are using FMT1, it gave us the $sign also, so format as a currency. So here we say that also we can use, again, the example here was only for the number format. So now let's see an example also for the decimal format. The steps are almost the same. The difference is that with the decimal format, we have to show the pattern of how many decimal places we want, but we also need to create the decimal format object, and then we use it to print the formatting we want. So here we say the decimal format class can be used to format a floating point value in various ways. Again, decimal format means decimal values, so floating point. So for example, you can specify the number should be truncated to 3 decimal places or any amount of decimal places you want. So let's see example. The program here is called the circlestart.java. So this program demonstrates the formatting of decimal values using decimal format class. So again, we import our scanner class, and we also this time import our decimal format. Decimal format is in the test package. Our main program name is circlestart. So the main class name also is circlestart. So in the main method, we declare variable name radius, which we are going to store the radius of the circle. We have a variable name area. We are going to store the area value and also the circumference value also. So first we ask the user to enter again the radius, but before that, we need to create the scanner object as usual. The scanner object name is scan. So we use the scan to get the radius. Since the radius data type is int, we are using the next int method to get the radius. So when we get the radius, we can find the area because the area will be power times radius square. So we are using the power method, and the radius value, the 2 here means square. So power takes two arguments, the base and the exponent. So radius square. Then we find the circumference. The circumference will be 2 times power times r. So we use the math.pi, which will give us the 3.142 times the radius. So now we have our answers for area, the area, and also the circumference. So we create our decimal format object named FMT. Now you can see the pattern here is 0.3 decimal places. We have 3 pound signs, means 3 decimal places. So here we use the keyword new, decimal format, and the pattern. So here now we can print our answers for area and also the circumference. Then we use the FMT to format to our suitable decimal places. So here we say the circle's area is FMT.format, then the area is the same thing, the circle's circumference, also FMT.format circumference. So this will be the output. We enter 5 as the radius, and we find the area, and we find the circumferences, and it gives us the decimal places. Now let's go to the next topic, which is the enum types. This is one of the common types that we see in many programming languages. The whole concept of enum type is that you are going to, again, create your own data type, and you have to specify the number of items that can be stored in that data type. So for example, we know we have 7 days in a week. So I can create enum type as days, and then I'm going to list that we can only enter Monday, Tuesday up to Sunday date. Or for example, a season, we have 4 seasons. Let's say spring, fall, winter, and also summer. So the enum will be season. You have to create it, and we need to specify the type of data, other values or strings that we can enter. So here we say Java allow you to define an enum type, which can then be used to declare variables. So enum type is like a data type, but it's a user created data type. Now we can use it to declare variables now. So example given here, we have enum. The keyword is enum. Then the name of the data type, you can have it any name you want. Here we are creating a season. Then we open a curly brace. Now we have to list all the possible data that we can enter if we create a variable. So here we say winter, spring, summer, and fall, which means in the program, if I have season, the variable name, let's say is days, or any variable name, I can only assign any of these 4 lists of items to it. So let's see an example. So once we created the enum type here named season, now we can declare our variable. So here time now is a variable, and the variable time, the data type is season, which means this variable time, I can only assign 3 or 4 different words here. So I cannot assign any other thing except these 4 words. So here we say the values are references to the name of the type. Enum types are type safe. You cannot assign any value other than those listed. So when we create a season, we listed, let's go back, we listed winter, spring, summer, fall. So this means if I create any variable with the type season, I can only assign any of these 4 words to that variable. So let's see an example. The program name is icecream.java. So we have our main class again, ice cream. Again, we have our enum type. The name is flavor. So we use the keyword enum, flavor. And now the list of all the flavors here, this is the only items that we can assign to any variable that we create with the enum type flavor. Next, we have flavor, con1, con2, con3. So we declare 3 variables, and all the 3 variables, their type is flavor. Then you can see we assign rocky road and also chocolate. Now, when you assign it, we have to start, it's more or less like object-oriented programming concept. We have to have the name of the enum type, so flavor dot, then whatever list here. So we can see Rocky Road is given to us here. So it's in the list, so that's correct. Then flavor dot chocolate. Chocolate also is in the list, so that's good. Next, we want to print our output. So we say con1 value. The con1 should print our output, the content we have, Rocky Road. Then also con1 ordinal, we want to print. So let's go to the next. Same thing, we print the con2 items. Then we again have con3, but we are assigning con1 data to con3. Then we print con3. So con1 and con3 should print the same output. So let's see the output here. First, we have con1. We can see we assign Rocky Road. So Rocky Road was printed. And also in ordinal means the number 5th position. Let's go back to the program what we mean by ordinal. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we start from 6, we start from 0. So 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the ordinal will be again, that's why the ordinal is 5. Now, when we go to the next one, chocolate, we can see that chocolate, the ordinal, the position is 1. Yes, because vanilla is 0, chocolate is 1. So here we have the con3 ordinal. We call the ordinal method. The ordinal will tell you the position of the value in the list. And always we start from 0. So that's why, again, let's see the output. Rocky Road is in the 6th position. So the ordinal will be 5. Then chocolate also is in the 2nd position. So the ordinal is 1. We assign con1 to con3 and we print the content of con3. So the content of con3 is the same as con1. We have Rocky Road, 5, and Rocky Road again. So the next is the wrapper class. Now, Java also gives us a special class called the wrapper class, but wrapper class normally correspond with each primitive types here. And the good news with the wrapper class is that it's inside the java.lang package, which we normally don't import it. When you write a program, automatically java.lang is already imported to us. That's why when we are using system.out.println or when we are using primitive type, we don't import any package. So this is what Java gives us for the wrapper classes. The primitive, for example, we know what is byte. We went through this in chapter 2 of the course textbook. For the wrapper class, the corresponding primitive type byte is also byte. The difference here is that with the wrapper class, all the names start with upper cases. So when do we use a wrapper class? Sometimes we may have a program where primitive type is not allowed. So in this case, we can convert to the object type or the wrapper class. So this is how we declare. So the following declaration create an integer object which represent the integer 40 as an object. So instead of now saying that int age equal to 40, which the 40 will be primitive, now we are using a wrapper class integer starting with the uppercase I. The object name is age. We assign 40, but this 40 now is not a primitive. It's the concept of object-oriented programming. So it's an object. So here we say an object of a wrapper class can be used in any situation where the primitive value will not suffice. So we can use wrapper class when primitive is known. So for example, here some objects serve as containers of other objects. In this case, we can use primitives. And also primitive values could not be stored in such container, but wrapper objects could be. Also, we said the wrapper classes also contain static methods that help manage the associated type. So for example, if we have the integer class also contain a method to convert an integer store in a string to an int value. And that's the method is called parseInt. So here we have integer.parseInt string. We can see the argument is string. Now here also we say they often contain useful constant as well. So for example, integer class contain min value and max value, which hold the smallest and largest int values. The concept of autoboxing is the automatic conversion of primitive value to their corresponding wrapper object. So assignment will create appropriate integer objects. And also we may have the reverse conversion, which is called the unboxing. So again, autoboxing is automatic conversion of primitive type to their corresponding wrapper object. So there's a question here. Are the following assignment valid? Double value equal to 15.75. Yes, this is valid. Yeah, the double literally is autoboxing into double objects. And this is done automatically for us. So we will say again, in this case, value now is not a primitive type no more. It's now an object type using the wrapper class. Same thing applied to the second one. We have character, ch equal to new character. So now this is a ch, it's an object using wrapper class, but we convert it to primitive. So here we say, yeah, the char is an object unboxing before assignment. So the first is going to object. The second example, so we'll call this autoboxing. Double value with uppercase D equal to 15.75 is autoboxing. Then unboxing, we have the wrapper class, which we create an object ch, then we unboxing it to primitive type. So ch now become primitive. Okay, so that will be the conclusion of these lectures. Again, these lectures we focus on using the Java primitive data types, the wrapper class, how we can convert primitive types to objects. And also we went through the concept of formatting and output using both the number and also using the enum types. So again, wish everybody the best. Our next lectures will be focused again, chapter 4. Thank you.